Hello, and welcome to my 2023 Language Study Plan featuring Notion. 2022 in review. I'll begin with German, my most successful language for 2022. I continued my German studies in college, where I had already completed 6 credits the previous year. In these courses, I was completely carried through B2 to completion, and I'm ready to begin C1 level after a review of the intermediate levels to reinforce the foundation and make sure my confidence level is high enough to move on. I also finished the Sagmal textbook and received a grade of A both semesters. I would say I not only met but exceeded my 2022 goals in German. Second, I began Spanish about halfway through the year. I almost met my goals, making good progress in fluent, but I fell a bit short. It didn't help that I switched from Latin American to Castilian Spanish, which slowed my progress. I was also able to practice speaking in the Dominican Republic, where I was thrilled to be complimented on my accent by locals. Japanese went okay because I set the very attainable goal of learning hiragana and katakana. I wouldn't call myself a master in them, but I'm definitely comfortable with them. I didn't progress beyond the writing system or start any of my textbooks, but due to a lot going on with both work and college last year and the other languages I was taking, I didn't set a high bar for Japanese, knowing it would be a big commitment to go further into such a challenging language. French I have been studying off and on for many years, and I was hoping to review what I'd already learned but forgotten by completing the Fluence program. Unfortunately, I did not relearn enough to gain the confidence in French I previously had after finishing 6 credits of French in college, or reach my French goal for the year to get back to where I was before. Chinese is another language I have previously studied in college, but am very rusty in. I wanted to review the textbook I still have from college, Mandarin by the way, but I didn't get around to it with all of the other responsibilities I had going on in life. I did, however, practice on Skritter, Super Chinese, and other apps, but I didn't even come close to regaining the confidence I had after my college course, which was my goal. Like Chinese, I wanted to review the Korean I learned in college and get back to the level I was at. Unfortunately, I made minimal progress reviewing my college textbook, and I also had resource issues. I started and stopped multiple textbooks trying to find one that would really bring clarity to this very difficult language. And I also bounced between many apps and programs. In the end, life and frustration with finding the right resources got in the way of my success with this very challenging and time-consuming language. As for other languages in 2022, my goals were not met, unfortunately. I didn't start Swedish in December as planned. I minimally studied Pashto before life got in the way, and I dabbled in other languages I talked about last year, but did not make significant progress in any of them. I wouldn't call 2022 a great success, but I wouldn't call it an epic fail either. My major goals for this year are commitment and consistency to facilitate future travel plans, laddering higher with lower level languages, remembering to record progress daily in Notion, multiple languages every single day, sentence mining as a new study method, and posting regularly on YouTube. German is mostly going to be a maintenance language this year. I'm going to do daily sentence mining reps on Glossica, review my textbook from college to make sure my foundation is strong, practice on Closemaster, and watch German TV shows on Lenkovska for more comprehensible input and exposure. I will also use German to learn other languages with the laddering method. Spanish, I would like to complete the Fluence program, try out Moza Lingua, which is a new program I picked up in the Black Friday sale, do sentence mining with Glossica reps, learn new vocabulary on drops, and begin hopefully understanding more material and TV shows from Spain on Lenkovska. After visiting Turkey a couple of times in the past and absolutely loving it, I'm very excited to be working more on Turkish this year. I dabbled in it last year, but this is the year I really want to become conversational for future travel. I plan to use Ollie Richards' Turkish Uncovered course and Busu for a general overview, drops for extra vocabulary, and the Istanbul textbook that a couple of great YouTubers go through step by step in a walkthrough with native pronunciation and tips. Having a cruise in Japan planned for next year and being a huge fan of Japanese video games, manga, and anime, I want to finally dive deeper into Japanese. I'm starting with Ollie Richards' Japanese Uncovered, Busu, and for kanji practice, Skritter. Then I want to move on to Satori Reader, Lingopi, and textbooks. I'm sure some of you may not understand why I would want to start Russian right now, with what's going on with Putin's unforgivable and villainous invasion of the sovereign country of Ukraine. I absolutely support the Ukrainian people, and I do not condone, endorse, or approve of Putin or his actions in any way. I do, however, feel for the Russian people who do not support this war and have either fled Russia to avoid participation or have protested in the streets, risking everything to do so. It's not the fault of the Russian people, their culture, or their language. Russian also opens many doors when it comes to travel in many fascinating countries in Eastern Europe and Central Asia that I'd like to visit. As for the resources I'll be using Ollie Richards' Russian Uncovered program, Busu, Drops, and Lingopi. Korean, the toughest course I ever took in college and a language I have been challenged and frustrated by time and time again, but I will never give up because I love Korean culture, K-pop, K-dramas, and want to stay in South Korea for 2 to 3 months. I'm making another go at getting back to where I was in college with Talk to Me in Korean Premium, Busu, Pimsleur, textbooks, lots of great textbooks, drops, and laddering with German. I even have some German textbooks to teach Korean. Having graduated college in December 2022, I hopefully finally will have the time I need to get the results I want in Korean. My whys are centered mainly around my travel goals since I needed to focus on one major criteria to complete the difficult task of paring down the daunting list of languages I want to learn to a list that would be manageable for this year. I'm of course interested in the history and culture of all of the countries speaking these languages. Languages on the bench in case I want to add one, swap something out, or next in line. First is French, which I've been studying off and on for many years, both in formal settings and on my own. I really want to finish Damon Dominique's French course that everyone is raving about. If you're not familiar with him, he's a popular travel YouTuber living in Paris who has French and Spanish courses out on the Teachable platform. I also want to do Glossica reps, review my vocabulary on drops, and get comprehensible input on Lingopi French TV shows due to my higher level, albeit rusty, in this language. I also want to take a trip to Quebec when I return to Canada for 6 months in March. Travel is the biggest reason I want to get back into Arabic. I have a strong fascination with the Middle East, and when people ask where my favorite places are that I visited, the United Arab Emirates and Oman are top of my list. The Alif Ba textbook has an excellent online portal with exercises, quizzes, and video content that anyone studying independently can subscribe to. I will also use Busuu, Talkin' Arabic, Rocket Arabic, and Drops. The biggest hurdle with Arabic and the biggest reason I put it off is the dialect problem. If you want to learn Arabic, you really need to learn a dialect in addition to modern standard Arabic in order to be able to communicate with people. And that's almost like studying two in one for a language that's very challenging to begin with. But my motivation is strong enough. I will definitely get around to it. Mandarin Chinese, I am absolutely determined to regain the level I reached in college and go beyond. I plan to review with Fluent, Ollie Richards' Chinese Uncovered, Skritter, Drops, Chinesey, and other apps in my college textbook. This is my language studies page in Notion. So this is my Notion page. I borrowed some elements of these templates I credited just now, plus many of my own ideas to suit my own language study needs and aesthetic. On this page, I have the languages I'm currently studying, some playlists for studying on Spotify, and links to details on the specific languages and important things such as study logs and resource lists. One of the pages this dashboard links to is future languages. These are all the languages I have any interest in. It doesn't necessarily mean I intend to eventually learn all of them, but it provides a place to save links to learning materials I want to recall and a good page to get inspired by when I'm ready to dive into a new language. And I probably will, at the very least, dabble in most of these at some point. My plan for the week is still a work in progress. I want to at least try to study all or most of my current languages every day, with the exception of a break on Saturday when I will only spend a few minutes on a vocabulary or sentence mining app for each. The weekly checklist is extras, different things I might like to do once a week or so. And the calendar view gives an overview of how good I've been about studying the entire month on one page. You'll see some other languages on there because I was doing some dabbling, finalizing my decision what languages to study, and the last 2 days paralyzed in that decision process. The daily study log is where I record what I did each day in each language. The journal is for journaling in each language, which I haven't started. And finally, I have my goals for why I want to learn each language and what I want to accomplish to keep my motivation levels strong. These goals include lifetime, annual, 6-month, and 3-month goals. Other than my lifetime goals, these are attainable and measurable goals, such as learning a certain number of vocabulary words or finishing chapters in a textbook. And finally, I have a resource database of cool resources I found for every and any language I'm either studying now or might like to study in the future. Next, I'll show what comes up when you click on one of the current languages. I'll click on German, for example. When the German page is open, you can see when I last studied the language, how long I've been studying it in total, and my current level, all at the top. Beautiful photo with the home country of the language provides inspiration. The study plan and resource list are actually the same as the general study plan and resource list, only with a German filter turned on, so only German study and resources are shown on this page. This is updated automatically from the master list. I love this feature in Notion. Finally, I have here all of my links for resources I like to use when studying German so I can remember them all and have them all handy in one place. Thank you for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. I really appreciate your support.